Okay, just went to the modify panel here and opened up the light again. I had lost a lot of my parameters, but I kind of wanted to mention something about how, I've been complaining a lot about how 3D Studio Max does stuff, but here's one of the things that it actually works out pretty cool, the way a lot of these effects parameters are kind of all bundled together and they're kind of easily accessed. In Maya, these can be a little difficult. They are also bundled in the same kind of area, but you have to know exactly what the cryptic kind of definition means in Maya more than the intuitive version here in 3D Studio Max. So in some respects, in this case, it's a little easier. Okay. So again, we're going to play the same game in atmospheric effects. We're going to add a new effect, and the effect we're going to add is the volume, and we'll say OK to that. And in reading the text carefully now, this time, I noticed that I forgot to create another light. Hey, I'm going crazy here creating lights. Let me delete that one here. So I need to create another light. And let me just check the parameters on this one. The next light is almost 90 degrees from this one, if I read the material correctly. So let me create light, standard, and target. Whoops, wrong way. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and scoot that over. Scoot this over here as well. Let's change the parameters there. Not on the target, but on the light itself. 2530, we're good to go. And let's see what that looks like. Looks a little bright, but it's not too bad. Okay. So what we need to do now is add a volumetric effect on this particular light here. Again, I think I have to go back here, volume effect, say OK, highlight it and set it up. And the last time I attempted this, it just didn't work out. So let's hopefully it works out this time. And I think all I need to do is change the volume effect. Well, let's look at the density of 5. Boy, that's dense. Okay. It's a little too much. So let's go back. Get rid of this. Looks like one of those cheap science fiction movies. Okay, that's not what we wanted, so let's highlight the light again. And we're here in the setup, the density, let's change that to, on step 25 on page 1238, the author tells you to set it to 1.5. Yeah, it's a lot more subtle. Okay, let's render that out. Still a little dense, but what we're going to do is we're going to add a fog element in there and kind of break that up. Okay. Let's close that out. Go to light and advanced effects right there. What we want to do is we want to use projector map. Here it is. To shoot up a to break this kind of volumetric light up. Now, what the author asks you to do here, let me close this back out. Got a little ahead of myself. Under the advanced, where'd they go? Advanced effects here. I can use a projector map, and I can use a map just like I could on a texture. It would affect the volumetric light by breaking it up. Now, you've probably seen some of those effects where you have a volumetric light like this, where it has little star specks and little things floating around it. Now, if I had a map with those animated, that would work, okay? But for my case, I'm just going to go ahead and place in a just a noise map. Now, here's one, okay? And again, since we place the noise map in here, we really can't change it until we go into the materials editor, make an instance of it, and then we can modify it. But I'm not going to go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead straightforward and work towards the end of this tutorial. Now you see how the noise map just kind of broke it up a little bit, and I can still work on this because it's still a little too dense. So I'm going to go ahead and work on it, and I'll come right back. I'm going to stop the video. Okay, I'm really still not happy with the way it came out, but you know, unless I had a map I could slap against this, I probably won't be happy with what it, you know, the way it's coming out. But for time purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and call it good for right now. Anyway, what we want to do now here is we want to set the attenuation. Remember I was talking about how we set an attenuation and it acts as if the flashlight light was coming to an end, where it's just kind of dissipating off. That's kind of the same effect that we want to use here. So we want to go to the far attenuation, this one right here, and we want to use it. And the two buttons we want to use, we want to modify these parameters here. We want to say start at 10 and we want to end at 850. Okay. Now that's a little high. I think that's too far. But let me take a look at what we have here. Yeah, it's way too high. Let's see what we have. Doesn't really look like it changed it too much, but you could see that the gradient is falling off a little bit up here and is a little denser there. So, you know, it's kind of what we wanted. Again, all you need to do is select your light again and just come here. I think some of the programs actually allow you to grab that right there, these two objects. The near attenuation's up here somewhere. And it allows you to grab them and physically move them eyeballically, okay? But I'm just going to go ahead and change the near, drop it a little bit, and I'm going to drop the far attenuation down a little bit. Should make some subtle difference. Well, you know what? I think I went the wrong way. Yeah, a little bit. Actually, what I'm going to do is drive the near back up and drive the fars up as well. Oh, just changed it. Change them both. Got to be real careful. I'm going to change the end to, let's say, like 900. Okay. Let's go back and render it. Yeah, a little denser here. But again, you can play with this and get it to look the way you want. In step 31 on page 1239, author asks you to change the parameters on the one of your other the other spotlight to a hot beam of 5 and a fall off field of 7. Now I wasn't seeing a whole lot of effect that kick that light was introducing, so I'm just wondering how that's going to affect us now. Let's see. Maybe just a little bit of a hot spot here. Kind of subtle. Okay, I went ahead and tweaked the light a little bit more, and I'm still not happy with the attenuation yet. The maybe I'll drop that a little bit more. I'm sorry, the far one is the one I gotta drop right there. Let's see this now. Yeah, okay, I can live with that. This is a tutorial anyway. So one of the other things that we can do is since I map the volumetric light with a noise parameter, if I animate, say, the noise, you know, change its phase, or I go ahead and change or rotate the light, it's going to change as well. So what I want to do is I go back to keyframe 0, and I'm going to set the auto key here, and I'm going to scoot on over to the end, and then I'm going to rotate this. Let's see. I'm just going to say, and I'm looking at right in the middle as I see the counter going. Oops, went a little too far. Way too much. Let me just cancel that. Let me just go to the parameter, modify. Target, let's see. Just I'm just going to rotate it. Once I come off the end there, not doing so well. I scoot it over this way. More than one way to skin a cat. Okay, let me set it to as close to 360 as I can. Close, close. And 360. That's close enough. Okay. So now that light will rotate, and I'll get this kind of like swirling effect with the volumetric light. Now, what I could have done is could have selected that and come back here and just hit. Nope. All right. Here's another mistake I made, but that's par for the course with me. Anyway, I didn't set the time slider or the time for this animation to be 1,000 frames. Now I went back to the text and it's in there somewhere, but I missed it. I kind of I didn't see it, didn't notice it when I first started reading it. Anyway, so what I did was I went here to this little time configuration and set the end time for 1,000. But what does that do for all my other animated stuff? Well, it kind of screws me up. So what I'm going to try and do is here save myself by going to the rescale and see if that helped me out. So I know one of the things that I modified was, or rotated, was this light here, and along with some of these effects here on these two Omni lights. But let me see if this one rescaled. So what I want to do is go up here to the graph editor and take a look, and no, it didn't. So it didn't really kind of rescale anything. So what I'm going to do is just kind of scoot this over to about right there, and let me see, scoot over there, and that point has to be like at 1,999. That's close. Well, I'll make it 1,000 and 360, even 360, and that's good. I'm good to go. Say enter, get out of there. We're good. Okay, now that just deals with the light, this bottom one. Now if I wanted to, I can go back in and change this Omni light here, and let's see, that one may have had some animated parameters, and let me go ahead and select rotations, and let me just hit select all here. Nope. See, nope. Okay, well,